Good afternoon. Welcome to the special report. I'm Colette Linden with Christopher Oldcorn, the one and only.
Good afternoon.
And thank you to Casey Security for your sponsorship. Boy, did we have a show, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be quite the show tonight, 4:30 City Council meeting.
That's what we're going to talk about. What's on the agenda for City Council tonight? The Premier is coming up. A lot of people are with the Premier today.
Yeah, it's they're fielding the hockey team today.
They certainly are. So they are probably going to talk about the second stage that's opening up. Well, I know that's what they're going to talk about. That won't be till after June 19th anyway. So, but good news too for my Facebook group friends that we're involved with, that the Prime Minister has talked about opening the bridge so that we can be with some loved ones.
Yes, so that they can come back.
There will be more information on that later today. But what we're talking about is if you leave this country and you come back to this country, you have to self-isolate for 14 days.
14 days.
That's right. So if you want to go see your loved one in the States, you are going to have to stay home for 14 days. So tip of the day would be have them come visit you in Canada.
And they have to isolate for 14 days.
Do they as well though?
Yes.
I did not know that.
So when they come, they have to
I guess I don't have the answer for
in your house for 14 days and not leave. So make sure it's family you want there for 14 days.
Right. So we want to talk about
Choose wisely on who you allow.
Who do you love? Make sure.
Or not love so much that you can't do 14 days.
Or wait till at least Father's Day weekend perhaps to see them. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about, since what? Beginning of March, we've been in quarantine. We've been in
March 21st,
we've been in with COVID-19. And if it's not a time to take a step back and realize what's important in your life more than it has been in the last few months, then that would be now. But when we're doing some searches and we're trying to find some news content, and all we're finding is racism and defunding police departments and the responses to that. I mean, there's just such heavy topics after such a huge health issue that's hit this entire world.
Absolutely.
And now's not the time to realize what's important and to accept everyone for who they are. I don't know what else they're waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen over the last few months, people make massive sacrifices, professionally, personally, kids pulled out of school.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the issues in society have come up because people aren't as distracted with work and other things. And, because there's no Thursday night softball league anymore because there's no sports. People aren't watching a 3-hour hockey game at night. And so they're looking at other things. And the stuff that's sort of bubbling to the surface is stuff that's been there for a long time, but we tend to push it down and ignore it. But now that a lot of the noise of our lives, school, work, watching sports,
silenced,
has all been silenced, and this other stuff is bubbling to the surface, which it's about time a lot of it did.
It is about time. Like this racism. I mean, I have a very strong opinion on racism and what I think of people who have such negativity about certain cultures or anyone else that aren't the same as them. But it's just
like those
sad.
Weird people from Hamilton?
I can't even comment. For every Hamiltonian who's watching this, or
both of them. Colette's parents.
My parents.
Yeah, Colette's parents.
Listen,
sorry.
We have almost 1 million people in Hamilton. We are a beautiful large city. Anyway, listen. You be quiet. The Premier's coming out at 1:15.
Yes.
And to get back to my point, now's the time to really appreciate and stand up. Stand up, speak out. And that is a hashtag that is floating around right now is hashtag speak out. Stand up for your beliefs and stand up for those who need it, right? Need the help. So that's my little personal rant that I just kind of wanted to address. Now,
and Trudeau addressed that too with going to that rally at Parliament Hill on the weekend as well.
And he's taking heat for that apparently because he put himself into a mass help me out here. Put himself with many people around him and into this rally, and they're saying, "Come on, what's he doing?" He's telling everybody else to, not find themselves in large groups, and here he is doing the same thing. But this is a super important issue. Racism is a huge issue. We're bringing attention to it. We want to stop it. I don't think it'll ever be stopped, unfortunately. But
there will always be ignorant people.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. Now, on tonight, first of all, I just wanted to update you on a story that we talked about earlier today about that shooting that happened near Kingston. They have found him.
Hunt is over.
But the hunt is over. It's Brian Danny Mosher. He did shoot at someone. He set a fire to a church, I believe, across from the fire station. The fire station at one point, or a fire truck went on fire itself too. I mean, there was some chaos, let's put it that way. So there was a manhunt overnight. They did find him at around 11 o'clock this morning. So I wanted to update you on that. There is no more manhunt. Also, let's talk a little about the traffic lights in Sault Ste. Marie. That is on the agenda for tonight's council meeting.
It's actually one of the useful things on the council agenda this evening. We'll get to the unuseful stuff later. It's going to be a 4-hour special.
You know what we're going to do? We blacked out a whole space for the agenda.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even need to put anything here
on
the schedule. I just the schedule for tonight, the agenda is enough.
Well, I know that will be streaming online, so you don't have to drive to that council meeting. But when you are driving through it or navigating,
it'll be Zoom. You can't go in the building anyways.
That's right. Yes. But when you're navigating throughout the Soo, just know that there's some improvements to be made.
Hopefully.
The software. They have already implemented phase 1 of this new software, and the software is known as Centrax. The city manager of design and transportation, who's Carl Rumiel, says that the new traffic data collection and analytics software system will improve the way traffic signals are synchronized within our city. Right now, there are 77 signalized intersections. Apparently, last year, 2 councillors, Councilman Shoemaker and Scott, expressed concerns about 37 of these 77 intersections because some of them have advanced greens, but it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And they're sitting there waiting for this to happen. So they're just going to do a better job to synchronize. I mean, I know if you go down Wellington and if you're down other main roads, they are all synchronized as you go. You can kind of, second line's another one where you can just pace yourself through. So that is one of the things on the agenda for tonight. Now, what is on the agenda for the weather, Miss Beautiful Danny D in the corner?
Oh, thanks, Colette. So, as many of you know, if you do go outside, it is a little bit chilly, so there is a little bit of wind right now, but currently we are sitting at 22 degrees, and then that's going to be, it feels like 25, but like I said, there is a little bit of wind. We also have 32% of humidity, so today is mainly sunny. Heading into the evening, it's going to go down to 20. Again, mainly sunny, and overnight it's going to be clear. Hopefully you can see the stars, and it's going to be 14 degrees. Tuesday morning, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be sunny in the afternoon. You know, we have a high of 32, but it's going to feel like 34. And even heading into Tuesday evening, it's a mix of sun and clouds, and it's roughly going to be 24, and that's going to kind of settle into 17 throughout the night. Come Wednesday, this is the one that we were talking about, it does look like we have a risk of thunderstorms. It's going to be a high of 25 with a low of 15. That thunderstorm should hopefully, or not hopefully, but should be approaching late into the afternoon. And then from there, it's going to keep going on and on. But again, we're just going to play it by ear and see what happens, because we talk about it today being a thunderstorm Wednesday. That could change to Thursday, but who knows. For more, back to the desk.
Oh my goodness, I want this thunderstorm to happen, and it keeps getting postponed. You predicted, well, you were wrong.
That was last week. You predicted it, Chris.
Wrong. W-R-O-N-G. Wrong.
Yeah, but I'm male. I'm allowed to be wrong.
Not allowed. It's in your DNA to be wrong. I think we can all agree on that.
It's a genetic thing.
Okay, listen. But the weather is going to get nice for us to sit out on bars outside, and we're going to talk about that and some patio time, what the government's doing to help Montreal, some other stuff that's happening in Ottawa. We'll be right back after this commercial break to cover everything.
A message from the Government of Canada.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern People's Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Colette Linden with Christopher Oldcorn. Thank you to Casey Security for your sponsorship of both our shows in the day. So I just received a cool text message from Shoppers Drug Mart. Now, Chris and I are out of towners. We don't have a doctor here, so anytime we need to fill a prescription, we go to the ER.
And spend 12 hours waiting.
Okay, over-exaggerating.
No, it's true. Read my article January 2nd.
Well, that's because you made a few articles about the hospital, and then they see your name, and they're pushing you to the bottom, buddy. Okay. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm sure that relationship is getting better. Anyways, Shoppers Drug Mart has just sent me a text saying my prescription's ready. So I called. I said, I don't want to go. I can't go to the emergency room for... They said, okay, it's okay. We got a 1-800 number. A doctor will call you shortly. Well, they skipped that process and just filled my prescription. So awesome. I'm very happy about that.
Very similar thing happened to me this weekend. I went in. I had filled my final prescription on repeat.
Yeah.
And I went in. And I said, look, I am working the news. I'm an essential service. If I get sick, then the entire place shuts down. I don't want to go to the hospital, nor do I want to go to a walk-in clinic. And she said, no worries.
Yeah,
we'll take care of it. There's a family doctor I can call for this, and we'll get it done for you.
Yeah, so just wanted to thank Shoppers and everybody. And I think it's awesome, right? Rexall, there you go.
Yeah.
And what's going on Facebook?
Yes. Okay. Tammy Lynn says hi.
Hi, Tammy Lynn.
So does Erica, who also wished us good morning, but that was autocorrect, so she corrected it.
Well, good morning and good afternoon, good evening and good night.
And then she was like, I won't say it, but something autocorrect, something the beaver does. And then she also made a comment about the lights getting fixed. What about fixing the roads?
Absolutely. We agree. But we have something even better than that road story.
Yes, instead of roads and fixing potholes, we have decided, apparently, to put a sign up at Huron Street. For you, those of you who don't know where that is, it's when you come across the bridge and you go through Canadian Border Services.
Yeah.
That's the emphasis there. Canadian Border Services.
And you've already talked to them.
You've talked to them.
Yep.
Yeah. And you've gone through duty free in Canada. You then hit Huron Street. And apparently City Council thinks you don't know you're in Canada yet when you hit Huron Street, so they're going to put another sign to remind you, just in case you were confused and thought you were in Mexico.
Welcome to St. Marie.
$40,000 to tell you you're in Canada. How do you not know that? You just went over the Canadian-American bridge and went through Canadian Border Services. Anyways.
When you told me that, I laughed. I thought he was kidding.
Yeah.
And
no,
you're not.
No, not kidding.
Good luck at this council meeting tonight.
I know. And
we want a full report tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and apparently council also paid no attention to the news last week. Okay, so first thing. Last week was announced $115 million for broadband internet access
which is
in
awesome.
Northern Ontario.
Can't get me started enough on that topic.
$115 million. So this is the resolution tonight at council. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Sault Ste. Marie City Council hereby calls on both the provincial and federal governments to prioritize an immediate investment in broadband infrastructure to ensure that all people and communities within Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma have access to affordable, dependable quality. Okay, last week, $115 million announced. What, like?
They haven't updated their agenda, Chris.
Apparently not. Okay, moving on.
Moving on up.
Okay, financial assistance for municipalities. Despite repeated requests, blah, 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 about the Federation of Canadian and Ontario Municipalities to date, there have been no announcements regarding relief funding to cope with municipal budget deficits created by the pandemic. June 1st, last Monday, $2.2 billion for infrastructure. Friday, $14 billion to provinces, territories, and municipalities to help them in their shortfalls in their budget, including things such as transit and other core municipal services to fill a funding gap created by the lack of money coming in to municipalities. Okay? That is in total $16.2 billion. No announcements. Like, does anyone at City Hall, seriously, do you guys put put on CBC News Network or Global News Network or CTV News Channel, or I don't know, on TV, and you'd find
I was
out.
going to say, wait a minute, Chris.
Like any news channel, you can figure this out on. Or just load up the front page of any news organization, such as SiouxOnline.com, and you would find out, oh, I don't know, that there was $16.2 billion announced just last week.
Well, clearly they did not update their agenda.
Like, I don't understand what these people do. Like, get off the solitaire and the Minesweeper, or whatever the heck the games are on Windows these days. That's what it was when it was Windows 3.1 when I was wasting time in high school.
You were so cool earlier when you said the gram and everything else.
I know.
You just totally killed
No,
your
I
coolness.
just totally killed it with solitaire and Minesweeper. But seriously, come on, guys. Like, this was all announced last week, and you're going to request that it happens tonight at council?
Well, yes, I concur, but I'm just still stuck on this $40,000
And
fine.
I really hope that this doesn't take 4 hours like the last council meeting, where the only thing of value that happened was an entertaining exchange between the mayor and a councillor over a dog park. Other than that, I fell asleep. But that could be because I get up at 5:30 every morning, and it's not that exciting to listen to you guys bicker about
Well, I don't know.
leasing or renting a trailer or buying the trailer.
Well, let's hope your experience tonight at 4:30, and that is streaming online
Yeah.
as well. The
Good times, good times.
The
Tune
premier
in.
is said to come out very soon, so we are going to throw to a commercial break and be right back after this message.
And
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Well, good afternoon. I know we're all eager to get things back to normal, and no one wants to get the economy going and get people back to work more than I do. And that means having a responsible plan. It means taking the best scientific advice and working together with our partners. It means recognizing that the situation is different in different parts of Ontario. It means moving cautiously but decisively. And most importantly, it means doing everything necessary to keep people safe as we reopen. And today, we're taking the next step. It starts this Friday, June the 12th at 12:01 a.m. with increasing the limits on social gatherings from 5 to 10 people. I know that staying apart from our friends and loved ones has been one of the hardest parts of the last few months. And hopefully it starts this Friday, June the 12th at 12:01 a.m. with increasing the limits on social gatherings from 5 to 10 people. I know that staying apart from our friends and loved ones has been one of the hardest parts of the last few months. And hopefully today's announcement will bring some relief. I also know that for so many of us, the restrictions around places of worship have been extremely hard. During these uncertain times, our faith has never been more important. That's why I've asked that places of worship across the province be able to reopen as of June the 12th at 12:01 a.m. at 30% building capacity. These are important steps to getting life back to normal, but we also need to get people back to work. We need to get the economy going, and to do this as quickly as possible. We're moving forward with a regional approach, and we're moving forward with an approach that lets us make decisions for specific parts of Ontario based on what's happening on the ground, based on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, our command table, and our local public health experts. Most regions in Ontario will be allowed to proceed to Stage 2 this Friday, June the 12th. We will continue to keep a close eye on regions that will not open this Friday, and we need just a little more time. We will continue talking to local officials who are playing a critical role in determining what areas can open, and I am confident that the rest of the province will get to Stage 2 very, very soon. And the good news is Stage 2 will allow people to resume many parts of their daily life. Wedding venues and religious places of worship will be able to host wedding ceremonies with a 10-person limit. Drive-in and drive-through venues for theaters, concerts, animal attractions, and art installations. Beauty salons, hairdressers, barber shops, day spas, and other personal care services, with the exception of facial services. Indoor shopping malls, with the food courts restricted to takeout. Restaurants and bars will be allowed to open their patios. Summer day camps will be able to open as well. More camping at Ontario parks and private campgrounds, as well as beach access. Libraries, community centers, museums, and galleries with physical distancing and capacity limits. Tour and guide services, including bike, walking, and bus tours. Recreational amenities, including splash pads, wading pools and swimming pools, and training for outdoor team sports. And tomorrow, we'll release our plan to reopen childcare to support parents returning to work. And for the regions that must wait a little longer, I ask you please remain patient. We will get there soon. My friends, we're making progress. And as I was clear with commercial landlords, you have to be fair and help out everyone. But we still heard about some landlords who just didn't get the message. Well, I'm here for the little guy. That's why I've ordered legislation to ban commercial evictions for those who qualify for the commercial rent relief program. The ban would take effect for evictions on or after June the 3rd and last until August 31st. Our small business owners are the backbone of our communities. And now, more than ever, we all need to support them. So please, get out there, buy local. Support your local small businesses. We all need to support others right now. And together, we will come back stronger than ever before. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister Elliott.
Thank you, Premier, and good afternoon. Because of the considerable and ongoing efforts of all Ontarians to stop the spread of COVID-19, many regions of the province have met the criteria to move to the next stage of reopening, including an improvement in public health trends as testing has been significantly scaled up, as well as maintaining hospital capacity to respond to any spikes in cases or outbreaks. As we know, different regions of Ontario have experienced COVID-19 differently. In response, we are taking a regional approach that recognizes that in many areas of the province, it is safe to ease restrictions and reopen more businesses. Indeed, in some areas, there have been fewer or no new cases of this virus in recent days and weeks. That is why most of the province's 34 public health units will transition to Stage 2 this Friday. However, where we haven't seen our public health criteria met, and in consultation with local medical officers of health, certain public health units will remain in the first stage. That includes those that make up the Golden Horseshoe: Durham, York, Toronto, Peel, Halton, Hamilton, and Niagara, as well as border regions Windsor-Essex and Lambton, as we continue to keep a close eye on essential travelers. Haldeman Norfolk will also remain in stage 1 until we are confident that the impacts of an outbreak are contained and don't extend into the broader community. I recognize the desire for more communities to move forward, for more families to get back to work. That is why our government will make more resources available to support the extensive efforts already underway to stop the spread of COVID-19. In doing so, we will ensure that every region of Ontario continues to gradually reopen. As we continue to monitor local trends, every Monday the province will provide a progress report on the public health units remaining in the first stage. If public health indicators improve at a local level, in doing so, we will ensure that every region of Ontario continues to gradually reopen. As we continue to monitor local trends, every Monday the province will provide a progress report on the public health units remaining in the first stage. If public health indicators improve at a local level, regions will be given the green light to enter stage 2 that following Friday. This includes lower rates of transmission in local communities, increased capacity in hospitals, and continued progress in testing. Our gradual regional approach will help ensure we build on our successes as a province while ensuring we continue to protect the health and safety of all Ontarians. Thank you, and now to you, Minister Phillips.
Thank you very much, Minister Elliott, and good afternoon. Stage 2 of the second phase is another stop on the journey set out in a framework to reopen our province. The roadmap we outlined on April the 27th to safely get the people of Ontario back to work. The journey isn't over. In fact, as restrictions are lifted, personal responsibility will be more important than ever to avoid a step backwards. But we have every reason to be confident and to trust each other. Since the essential business list was announced in March, people and employers have demonstrated incredible patience and leadership by following the public health advice and guidance necessary to keep each other safe. This has continued since we entered stage 1 of the second phase and has made me confident that we are on the right course. No plan is perfect, but this is new terrain for all of us, and we're in it together. You have trusted your government to do what is necessary to contain this global pandemic. But the trust is a two-way street. We trust you to continue acting responsibly, look out for each other, and do your part to stop the spread. This has saved lives, and keeping it up will get more people back to work sooner. Stage 2 of the second phase means we'll be able to dine safely on the patio of our favorite restaurant or go to the shopping mall. Since announcing a framework to reopen our province, Ontario's Jobs and Recovery Committee has been working with the health and scientific experts to reopen the province as soon as it's safe to do so. Our regional approach to stage 2 is going to safely get more people back to work as soon as possible. We've been talking to business and labor leaders, nonprofits, municipalities, and members of cultural and faith communities to understand their unique needs. We are grateful for their input. It has informed every step we've taken on our reopening plan. And we are grateful for people's patience. I know that anxiety remains, and these unprecedented times can be confusing. The people of Ontario have every reason to be confident as we step into stage 2 of the second phase. The health and long-term well-being of our province will continue to guide every decision we make and every step in our plan. The people of Ontario have acted responsibly throughout the global pandemic. I'm confident that will continue in stage 2 and beyond. Our collective health and the economic recovery depends on it. And now I'll hand it over to Minister Fedeli.
Good afternoon to the business leaders and service providers who have shouldered the responsibility of reopening their businesses.